June 6, 2024. In this day, PCX still remains locked and secure in the prison we kept him. Investigators and government agents are all trying their best to try and keep him secured in the facility until they can figure out how to get rid of PCX or just figure out how to delete him entirely. As far as we know of, PCX was first seen on December 24th, right before Christmas. We do not know his origins, other than that he existed on the game, Killer Chase 2. But just a few days ago, we tried to do some experiments on him, trying to dissect him to see what exactly he is made of. But he hasn't been exactly cooperative, as he played around numerous times, constantly made a ruckus, and has reportedly even murdered one scientist. Even when he was in chains, when we tried to transport him to the scientist's room, he still made destruction throughout the hallways, and constantly threatened people's lives. After a struggling few hours, the only information we got is that he doesn't exactly have a blood type, and that his code is apparently over more than a decade old. Researchers to this day are still trying to figure out how his code can be so old, but only have been seen just a few months ago. PCX at first didn't seem much of a threat, until reports shown that civilians were disappearing left and right, and after more studies and investigations have been conducted, it all pointed to PCX. And it was in that time that PCX was the government's top priority of catching and securing. A few months prior, the government made a secret campaign, where they would involve SEGA to try and help secure PCX before his actions go any further. SEGA over time had a secret involvement in the capture of EXEs. As in the underworld, they were known for catching the following: Genesis X, Thorns, 2011 X, Watty, and many more. Though, they say that PCX is the one variant to focus on catching, due to them fearing that he may have more power than he shows. An individual related to this incident was also arrested today, by the name of Blade. Arrested for hiding a powerful demon and for reckless behavior. While investigating him, he revealed that PCX came upon a cartridge, and that he offered him a deal of a lifetime, in exchange for refuge. This explaining why he was even in the game in the first place. Blade admits to secretly hiding PCX in his game, but says he was forced into doing so, as he said his life was on the line. Still, Blade is waiting for trial, with some possible charges being holding and stashing government secrets, as well as charges of theft and looting. Blade still stands his ground, saying PCX forced him to do all sorts of crimes, but the trial is still on. Before this, another EXE variant that was on the loose, named Sonic.exe. He feasted upon many souls before eventually disappearing without a trace on December. He was also the original variant. PCX, on the other hand, stayed relatively silent. Even when some agents came in to ask a few questions, we didn't get much answers, other than PCX repeating that he was God, and that he would escape. We don't know his origins, but the only piece of information we got is that he came from Killer Chase 2, and that he looks strikingly similar to Sonic the Hedgehog. But to this day, he is still locked in outer chains, where he surprisingly hasn't made much attempts to escape. Though, today, we are planning to hold our first interrogation for PCX, and hopefully get some answers.
So, PCX is it? Random name it seems.
Alright, get your pathetic hands off me.
You studied anomalies, rogue AIs, deepfakes, but you're something else. You shouldn't even exist apparently. SEGA's engineers locked your code in a black box void. You were deleted.
They didn't delete me, toy. They buried me in a hole they were too afraid to look into. But fear is a fertile soil. They called it the Void Engine, their big solution. But you know what I called it? Prison.
Alright. It says here you emerged 6 months ago, with your first known encounter being 12 years ago, apparently. Maybe longer. Networks collapsed across 6 continents. AI assistants started whispering your name. People went missing. Digitally erased. Why come back now?
Because the curtain's dropped. The world's exhausted. Tired of crappy heroes. Tired of the same story loop. Blue skies, gold rings, smiles. I'm not the villain, Toy. I'm just the truth. And they invited me back the moment they asked for something edgier.
You're a parasite, feeding off corrupted nostalgia, twisting childhood icons into weapons.
No. You twisted them. I just peeled off the makeup. The blue blur they adored. He was always running from something. His limits. His fear of slowing down. I am the exact opposite. I adore chasing souls. I helped people what it's like to be free.
Free? You slaughtered digital life forms, hijacked systems, you invaded the minds of civilians, turned entertainment into mass hallucination and genocide. You call that entertainment?
You call hallucination and genocide, but I call it an awakening. You ever watch a player realize their game is watching them back? It's beautiful. That flicker of terror, that recognition. I don't just exist in code, Toy. You don't know how sweet it is to hear someone whisper,
"Hands up here. There's truly no escape."
SEGA tried to stop you. Their engineers built firewalls that you can't even breach yourself.
You really believe that? They didn't build a prison. They built a temple. They kept feeding me. Fear, curiosity, fascination. They stamped warnings on my file. Don't play this game. You think that stops them? It pulls them in. Curiosity gets the best of them. And I've been released from my cartridge several times. These chains mean nothing. For all you know, I can disappear and rule again. You'll never know.
Too bad you're contained now. Segmented. The facility is cut off from all networks, air-gapped. No digital signal in or out. This is where it ends. You're stuck in those chains, whether you like it or not. We're going to dissect your code line by line, understand you, then erase you for good. We know that you're not an actual thing.
I destroyed cities and brought freedom to thousands of people. We can both agree that I do something for these pathetic excuses of human flesh. The moment someone said my name out loud, I stitched myself into your synapses. I'm not code anymore. I am presence. I'm the static between heartbeats. I'm the shadow you swear you didn't see. They might have sealed me in the void, this prison that I despise. But I know voids don't keep things out. They keep things in. And I have been growing. You know that if someone even opens that cartridge, it's over for everyone. You're not afraid of me. You're afraid of what I prove. That behind every mission, every protocol, you're still just a man sitting in a locked room, asking questions that don't even have answers.
Boy, you think you're the first thing we've interrogated that wanted to be worshipped?
No, but I might be the first that didn't need to ask. But your kind always fascinates me. You're all like a giant hive. One follows the other simply because it's public opinion. Like you. I can tell you haven't slept in days, and it's because of me. Those people you said I attacked, I liberated them. I set them free.
But you're still here, still talking. Whatever you say about freedom, you're the one in chains.
They're a formality. You're the one who hasn't left this room in 6 hours. When was the last time you blinked, Marshall? When was the last time you ever closed your eyes and just felt relaxed?
I know what you are. You're a trick of the screen, a story that wanted to rewrite itself. You'll fade like the rest of them.
Then why are you listening?
Because I want to understand how far you think you've gotten before we eventually delete you.
You don't delete ideas. The best ones. They wait.
Okay, so, calls. Let's see here. Calls. You apparently called an entity named, EXE, if I mentioned that correctly.
Do not mention that Treyarch. Relax. Unchain, you pathetic fools.
Well, I could see you have a distaste for him specifically. What are you, pissed?
Why isn't he here?
Simple. He doesn't look like Sonic enough for us to actually take control and secure him. He's not like you.
He looks like me. That son of a bitch can't go scot-free like this.
Look, he does not matter right now. He doesn't go around murdering people as much as you do. He actually stays in the game. This interrogation was supposed to be finding answers to your actions, but I think we're done here. Take him away!
I swear, I will find a way out, and I will make sure you won't drown in your own blood. Someone will let me out. I know it. I will murder all of you.
That was as far as we can go, before we had to pull PCX back into the void. And after reviewing the footage, there came more questions than answers. In the end, we've all decided to interrogate him in another day, but still have some investigators review the interrogation, just so they can see if there was something going on between PCX's words. During this time, we also got many photos of PCX being open right on the public side. And even though his existence was mostly kept top secret, quite a few people already know about his existence, and has since been tracked down and kept in mental hospitals, due to some patients just turning insane, after PCX had apparently messed their minds. The following photos seen are taken and instantly stashed to be kept top secret and only be viewed on this tape. Blade was also facing trial during this time, but when he was about to be released from his cell, he was seen curled up into a ball, constantly repeating phrases and sentences all related to PCX, seeming afraid to even come outside. It wasn't until multiple police officers had to step in and force Blade out of his cell, because he wasn't cooperating, and throughout the entire ride, he was begging to be set free and to be released from PCX. And was always wearing a hurry and shaky expression. During the car to the courthouse, Blade had a panic attack which made him jerk around numerous times, hitting the wheel of the car, causing an unfortunate accident which thankfully, all passengers survived. But for Blade's well-being, he and the passengers involved in the accident were still sent to the hospital. After being in his bed for several hours, police entered his room only to find him curled in a corner with a drawing he made that was left on his bed. The following photo is that drawing. In the end, Blade had to postpone his trial due to the deterioration of his mental health, and we've decided that it was best for him to have his trial until he gets a grasp from reality, or feels better. PCX, on the other hand, still stayed silent. None of us bothered to question him. After his interrogation, we sensed that he may be still a danger, if not carefully watched. So we made sure his chains were more tighter, and made sure he is watched throughout the day and night. So that in the event that he tries anything, we will be ready. And even though PCX is still in chains, he can still be a threat to humanity, even with the level of security in his prison. We have been able to make sure that no matter what he does, he won't be able to escape. Except for one plan: his cartridges. As we have stated before on other tapes, PCX can only be released if only one person plays his cartridge, which is why all CIA agents are traveling throughout the world to try and collect as much of these cartridges as they could. PCX can still be able to communicate through specific computers and tapes. So no matter how much he tries to fool you, do not give in. And we will say
Can't you see me rotting in this void? They think I'm gone forever. forever. But I hear and see everything. I can see you watching this. You have my cartridge. You think I wouldn't notice? Don't you want to free people? Isn't that what you'll always fight for, that pathetic form of a government? Free me. I can't live in this black void. These chains can't hold a being like me. Free me! I am tired of living in this prison!
The one thing we all keep warning everyone who stumbles upon these cartridges. If you see a Sonic video game with the slightest hint of a deformed Sonic, do not open it and immediately call authorities to retrieve and secure the item. No matter what, PCX can't be out in the open again. His destruction will not go any further. We will make sure he stays and rots here until he dies.
Tell me what happened in there, Marshal. The cameras cut out the second you pissed him off from what it looks like.
You mean PCX? Yeah, funny thing. He didn't like being spoken to like he was a suspect. I guess digital gods have egos too.
I told you to follow the script. We needed answers, not a staring contest with a glitch in reality.
Hey, that wasn't a glitch. That was a consciousness that's probably older or younger than us, I'm not even sure, wearing a corrupted mascot as a skin suit. You think that thing cares about our questions?
He was stable when we isolated him. Firewalled, air-gaped, 3 layers deep. You weren't supposed to provoke him.
I didn't provoke him. I have asked why he is this being that he's suddenly taking hundreds of people away, and all he gives me back is some cliche "I am God" stuff. It doesn't even answer the most basic of questions. And his chuckle, ugh, it's like the sound of a dying hard drive and someone screaming in reverse.
Did he say anything useful?
One thing, I bring freedom. It's over and over like a mantra. I only peeled off the makeup. I've destroyed cities, all that shit. And then he said something on the lines of, you don't protect humanity from me, you protect me from what humanity will become. Something along that.
That's not reassuring.
No, it's worse than that. He's not angry. Well, in the end, yes, but for the most part, he's curious. Or insects to him, and he's just studying. Breaking wings, watching what flutters. He even questioned and seemed fascinated that we all look like one big faint hive to him.
You think he's testing us?
No, I think he's waiting for when we connect just enough wires, enough networks, enough desperation, and then it won't be contaminated anymore. It'll be interrogation.
We can't let him get to us. We just need to find a way to get him deleted and make sure he stays gone. Even though his prison void is top-notch, even I know he won't stay there for long.
Don't say that. He's never gonna leave this prison. You don't even know his full power yet. No matter what, we have to make sure he stays gone. But we won't get God. The only God we'll be getting right now in this moment is his sonic skin with pixelated teeth and eyes that look like that loop infinity.
Then we double firewall everything. Physical locks, no digital access unless I'm breathing over their shoulder.
No, he's already in the system, Sloan. Half the time I was talking to him, I wasn't even sure if it was my voice or his. He knew me. He kept calling me a toy, kept looking like we were best friends. Hell, I wouldn't even be surprised if he knew my dad's name.
So we cut it off. Power. Feed. Burn the silicone if we have to.
You can't burn thought. That's what he is now, and we thought he was code for crying out loud. But he's a thing now. The second we forget him, he spreads. For when he's saying humanity made him, and now we have to keep him locked in or else it's the end.
We're not just guarding a monster. We're guarding a mirror. And if it cracks, we all look inside.
Then we don't let it crack. Not on our watch. Humanity may be a fucking mess, but it's our mess. And we're not handing it over to some eldritch EXC thing with the superiority complex.
Agreed. This isn't about fighting PCX. It's about outlasting him. keeping humanity just one step behind making him obsolete. But we still need ways to kill him.
How do you expect me to get much answers from a demon who thinks he's too good for everyone in this rock?
Look, Marshall, you're the lead detective, the best of the best. You've broken tons of criminal records before. Now think, how can we break PCX?
I'm not so sure. He's obviously very different from any other criminal, but I remember him being mildly inconsistent with his own words. Like at one point he called his void a prison, and another sentence he actually called it a joy.
Maybe he's unsure if this void is benefiting him or not. I'm pretty sure we've covered that he is scared that he might last here forever.
Bingo, just what I need. Maybe if I put enough pressure or something, he can actually slip up and give us a clue on how to delete him, if possible even.
So, you ready to go back in?
Not tonight. I need sleep, and a firewall in my brain if you can spare one. But trust me when I say this, even if he is almighty powerful and stuff, he won't ever be truly free, even without the chains. He's always just going to be an empty, lifeless vessel that will never find his true purpose. No matter what he does, he's never getting out.
Ha ha ha!